Throughout time, organisms on the planet have always been changing. Through evolution, species often develop certain adaptations or traits that increase an individual's fitness in a population. Organisms that possess these traits are more likely to survive and reproduce, and thus pass on the same traits to the next generation. Such is the case with herbicide-resistant weeds. Herbicide-resistant weeds rapidly adapt to their new environment through natural selection by random mutation. According to Mearsman, 1 in a billion weeds have the genetic makeup to survive any random herbicide application. From that one weed, the resistant gene can be passed to any of 300,000 offspring. Over time, the resistant weeds will make up the majority of the population because of natural selection. In 1996, glyphosate, the herbicide under the name Roundup, became commercially available to most farmers. It allowed them to eliminate most plants, yet save the soybeans and other crops at the same time. As the years passed, farmers noticed a definite increase in the weeds resistant to glyphosate, just as with other herbicides. The newest measures include utilizing various different herbicides while genetically engineering the intended crops to allow for only the crops to survive. However, the health concerns over the increasing amounts of herbicides have prompted new research. Most risk-reducing techniques are more self-explanatory. It is suggested that farmers plant crops without weed seeds present and use a more diversified approach to preventing weed seed production. An even more meaningful approach has also been taken in reducing the number of weed seeds in the soil banks. If a farm is to remain sustainable, the soil banks must have a declining rate of weed seeds. If the seed bank is increasing, the weeds are escaping the boundaries of the farm and spreading, which is a definite sign of herbicide resistance adaptation. One of the most effective prevention techniques is to use multiple herbicide mechanisms of action. If more than one herbicide is used, for example, the effectiveness of weed prevention will increase because the likelihood of a plant having multiple herbicide resistance genes is highly unlikely. These superweeds require constant tending and attention because of their progression into nearly indestructible plants. The evolutionary mechanism which has driven this development of herbicide-resistant weeds is called directional selection, which is natural selection that favors one extreme over the other. As a result of this directional selection, the growing population of superweeds has become more and more resistant to a wider variety of herbicides. In general, natural selection, acting on the individual plants, has driven populations of weeds to evolve as a whole. Throughout time, organisms on the planet have always